Hey guys, it's Gary. Today's legal tip is put it on the settlement statement. And quite frankly, I'm utterly amazed that I even have to go over this, but this continues to happen. And I had one of my better agents call me the other day and said she was very concerned what a lender was telling her and she didn't agree with it and wanted my opinion on it. And apparently what had happened, it was a 6% commission. Buyer's agent and seller's agent both were going to get 3%. And the way the deal was going to work out is that the buyer's agent had agreed to take only 2.5% if the listing agent would give a credit to the buyer for closing costs or something of that nature. Now, that's perfectly legal as long as you disclose it on the settlement statement. You put that as where we have a seller paid closing costs. You can actually have a lender paid closing costs, or you can have a real estate agent closing costs, as long as it's disclosed on the settlement statement the lender approves. But this lender told her they were not going to put it on the HUD and that the agent could just pay her after closing, refund that money back, and said that they do that, quote, all the time. So that tells me they violate federal law all the time because that violates Title 18 U.S. Federal Code. Now, I don't particularly want you to violate federal law because going to federal prison doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. But anytime a lender or somebody tells you just do it outside of closing or it doesn't need to be on the HUD, that's probably a good time to pause and think, is this really true? And talk to a closing attorney to make sure they agree that it doesn't need to be on the HUD, because I can tell you it has to be on the HUD. And the simple reason is, let's say the client's buying the house for $200,000 and that 0.5%, let's just say it equals $2,000. And if you do that on the HUD, the downline lender knows about that. And this involves anytime you have a federally insured loan, which is almost all of them. The lender knows that was done as a credit. But if the lender doesn't know, what did the buyer truly pay for the house? They didn't pay $200,000. They paid $198,000 because they got a $2,000 credit outside of closing. They got cash back in their pocket. So they didn't pay $200,000, they paid $198,000, which messes up loan to value ratios, which messes up debt to income ratios. And any lender worth their salt will tell you that, yeah, that's illegal and that's a big problem because the downline lender doesn't know about it. So even if the lender, you tell the lender you're closing with about it, and they said, I don't care, just do it outside of closing, it's not providing a true, accurate statement of the transaction for the lender who's going to buy and service the loan. So thus, it violates Title 18. Shouldn't have to tell people that, and it utterly amazes me that lenders are telling people to violate the law. Be careful, reach out to a lawyer who knows what they're doing, and get your advice there. So hopefully that will protect you from having to go to federal prison, because that doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me either. All right, everybody have a great weekend. Please continue to pray for Sonny and Ryan, a real estate agent and a real estate agent's spouse. They are very needing of prayers. We need actually divine intervention. We need a good Lord to come in and lay his hands on these two and provide healing powers to them. So please keep them in their prayers. They are suffering from COVID and very much suffering. And so please keep these two wonderful people in your prayers this week. All right, y'all take care. Have a good one.